Hi, my name is Hunter Fletcher. Today I'm going to talk to you about the dangers of texting and driving. We all have electronic devices like cell phones in which we use for texting in order to communicate with others. However, using this as a communication can also be a distraction while driving and potentially cause accidents. We now know that electronic devices are linked to a significant increase in distracted driving, resulting in injury and loss of life. Students at the Missouri High School are mourning the death of a 16-year-old classmate, killed in a texting while driving traffic accident on Thursday. Counselors and youth ministers were at Harrisonville High School Friday morning to console teenagers who lost a friend. State troopers say Savannah Nash, 16, died after she pulled out in front of a tractor trailer on Missouri Highway 7, south of Harrisonville. Investigators say texting while driving was a contributing factor in the crash. Here's a picture of the crash. This is the best picture I could find. You can't really see, but the car is destroyed. The information in my speech is being presented to make you aware of the potential harm of electronic devices if you choose to misuse them. I will give you valuable information to help reduce the risk of harm caused by electronic devices. My credibility is being a witness every day while driving and seeing people misuse their electronic devices. This is also from statistical data from researchers and surveys. We all use or have used at some point an electronic device, and for many people this is a big part of their everyday life. But however, using this device at bad times can result in consequences. By looking at news reports, statistics, and information I have gathered, I hope that this can reduce improper use and reduce the consequences. For number one, we will examine the issue at hand of texting and driving and the harm of it. Second, I will provide information like statistical data. Lastly, we will look at the best 5 ways to prevent texting and driving. An improper use of electronic devices can have negative consequences on your life. An electronic device has become an incredibly popular method of communication, but is it without cost? Electronic devices were designed for quick communication and to handle business without having to meet up. They help keep in touch with friends, family, and even someone in another country. One device in particular is your cell phone. This is a dangerous device used for texting and driving. With all the new quick and efficient ways of communicating and staying connected, did anyone begin to conceive of any possible negative outcomes? With all the power technology affords us, should we necessarily attempt to harness it? Can we? That's a good question. The story told earlier happens every day and it is a horrible event. However, it shows that something like this cannot simply be introduced into the world without repercussions. Electronic devices have a strong establishment in our society and the world. Phoning and texting killed 3,092 in car crashes last year. In 2010, driver distraction was the cause of 18% of all fatal crashes, with 3,092 people killed, with 416,000 people wounded. This is not to imply that everyone is affected by electronic devices in the same way. But as time goes on, electronic devices are only going to be able to do more, and this will bring greater potential for harm. How can long-term use affect the individual? There are many possibilities. However, we will limit the presentation to the effects the longer you use your electronic devices on the road, the more lives you are putting in danger, along with your life and affecting your family and other families. Studies say that drivers using phones are 4 times as likely to cause a crash as other drivers. Yet Americans have largely ignored that research. Device makers and auto companies acknowledge the risk, but they aggressively develop and market gadgets that cause distraction. The dangers of texting while driving can be very lethal. Texting while driving can only lead to mayhem. It does not matter either if a person thinks they can drive 5 while still texting. Multitasking can become very deadly when you are trying to handle 2 very demanding and attention-requiring tasks, as of driving and texting. Texting and driving has been addressed multiple times, but not in some places. Some states have laws, but a cop cannot be everywhere at once. There are many ways to prevent texting and driving that we will address. This problem still exists, mainly because of people refusing to listen and not obeying the law. One way to prevent texting and driving is put it away, out of sight and out of mind. Turn your phone off and keep it somewhere you won't see it, like in your bag or in the back seat. This will keep your mind off of wanting to respond to incoming messages. 2 obstacles that keep the problem from being solved are wanting to not miss anything in the social world instead of worrying about harming themselves or others. Another obstacle is thinking that wrecking will never happen to you or being overconfident while texting. All of them believe, of course, that somehow, against all the scientific evidence to the contrary, they are different from everybody else. They believe that using electronic devices while driving, whether it be talking on the phone or texting or searching the internet for the nearest restaurant, is dangerous for everyone but themselves. The young men's belief in their superior ability to drive while texting is a delusion, of course. Research has repeatedly shown that people of any age who believe they are great at multitasking are simply unaware of the information they are missing out on. 2 barriers for texting and driving are found in the statistic of the percentage of how people think when they choose to pick up their phone while driving. A wreck caused a study of texting and driving. For the study, 2 marketing professors, Gerald Lance and Sandra Loeb of King's College in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, has surveyed 120 college students. 57% were male, 43% female, to determine 1, how often young people texting while driving, 2, what those young people thought about the practice. The researchers particularly wanted to see if certain personality traits, such as impulsiveness and a need to be connected, are more common among people who text while driving than among those who don't. One finding didn't surprise the researchers. 82% of the survey's respondents admitted to texting while driving at least some of the time. Here's a scary statistic. At any moment during the day, some 660,000 Americans are fiddling with their cell phone or other electronic devices while driving. This very well can result in something like this and harm many, like kids on a school bus. Statistical data is the proof there is no way around it. This shows how most young adults think, and even older ones. Now that we have laid everything out, we will list the best 5 ways to prevent texting and driving. I'll provide you with the 5 best steps that have been backed up from experience of others. Number 1, put it away, out of sight, out of mind. Turn your phone off and keep it somewhere you won't see it, like in your bag, the back seat. This will keep your mind off of wanting to respond to incoming messages. Number 2, silence is safe. It's hard to ignore your phone when you hear the ring sound. By putting your phone on silent, you can avoid being tempted. Just think how awesome it will be to not be interrupted when you're rocking out to your favorite song. Safely, of course. 3, designated texter. Get one of your friends to be the designated texter. Who can read the messages and respond to them? You won't miss a beat with your BFF manning the phone. Number 4, rock your thumb socks off. To receive 2 free pairs of anti-texting and driving thumb socks. Not only will these awesome socks enrich you for texting, but you can also qualify for a scholarship. Yes. First, we examine the issue at hand of texting and driving and the harm of it. Next, I'll provide you with statistical data of the harm texting and driving has. Lastly, I provide you with 5 ways to prevent texting and driving. My presentation was to show you the effects texting and driving has on people and their families. I provided you with the information to prevent texting and driving, along with the statistics and how many people actually text and drive. Ask yourself, do you want to be the one? The one that destroys a family, or not to mention kill yourself? How would you feel if somebody was to hit your mom or dad while texting and driving? Exactly, you would be torn apart. Don't be that guy. I cannot stress enough how dangerous texting and driving is. But if you just sit down and think that what would your friends and family do without you, even if you put that phone away while driving what you may see by being observant. Driving by yourself is one of the best times to think. At the beginning of my speech, I talked to you about a kid killed while texting and driving. This one particular girl may be able to have had a major impact on our world, but that split second, she decided to pick up her phone and she risked her life. Mark my word, it is worth being yelled at by your parents or anybody for not responding or missing out on something and putting your life at risk or even others. Don't make the mistake by texting and driving because you very well could regret it for the rest of your life. And here's 2 more pictures of somebody texting while driving and a sign that says, honk if you love Jesus, text while driving if you want to meet him.